I've got a question for you. What are the qualities that make us human? Think about that one. Because today I'm going to be sharing some insights into my thoughts around AI and the new revolution that we're seeing. We've been through the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the digital revolution, and now the new revolution is AI. It's on us. And I really, as a coach who's been working with children since 2003 and a founder of an organization that has trained people around the world, I'm really, really interested in what we can do to rebrand childhood and AI proof the children that we are role models to. And it's actually easier than you think. So let's circle back to that question I asked you. What are the qualities that make us human? Those are the qualities that AI cannot replace. They are also the qualities creativity, curiosity, intellect, communication, relationship building, emotional intelligence, compassion, empathy. All of those things cannot be replaced by AI. But AI is actually a bestie to many children who see it as an integral part of their day-to-day lives. So, how then do we AI proof children in this era where children are being born into technology that is at their fingertips? I think back now to when I got my first device. Oh my goodness, I was in university. The world looks so different to our children. And yes, we can choose to focus on the fact that technology and AI is a problem, or we can choose to step up and be part of the solution. Now, as I said, I've been coaching children since 2003. And the way I've done that is very simple. I speak the language of childhood. Play is the language of childhood. And when we support children to do the thing that they find inherently easy, which is play, that is how we can AI proof them. Now, what does it mean to actually AI proof a child? Because really, we don't want to make children scared of technology. We don't want parents to take technology away. We don't want to do anything extreme. We have to move with the wave. The wave is there. We've got a surfboard. We've got to get on that surfboard. We've got to ride the wave. We cannot avoid that this is happening. I myself have struggled to adapt to the way things work. I am a very big believer in connection and relationships as the two key ingredients for young people to be able to not only connect to themselves, but to connect to their parents, their peers, and to humanity. Now, AI is stepping in the way of this because in order for us to connect and to create these connections, we have to have minds that are curious and open. And AI is taking away the ability for young people to think for themselves, which is why I think the only way we can AI proof our children is to allow them to feel struggle. What it means to be human is not just about all the positive qualities. We're all united as humans in the fact that all of us struggle at one time or another. I myself have struggled with deep, dark depression many years ago. It was a journey I had to move through. And on the other side of it, I found my purpose. I found the meaning behind it. These days, normal human struggle is pathologized, and children are getting access to the opportunity to label these human experiences as disorders. And what I really want to do is to get young people to realize that struggle is part and parcel of life. Every single one of us is united in the fact that we are going to struggle. And no, struggle is not nice. And yes, as adults, we should do as much as possible to prevent children from struggling unnecessarily. But some degree of struggle is what creates problem-solving mindsets. It what gets children to become curious about finding solutions. It gets children to get comfortable with things that are uncertain. And in this rapidly changing landscape of AI and everything that's going on, The last thing we need to do is avoid AI. We really need to show children that in order to harness AI as their bestie, they need to lead that friendship, not the other way around. So, struggle is an important part of children growing into their own skin. And I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm saying it anyway. I've been working for children, with children for many, many years in many different capacities. I work with families, I work with parents, I've worked in the national health system. And one thing I know, the common thing that we all have as humans, besides the struggle, is that when there's struggle, when we couple that with hope, having a sense of agency, having a sense of purpose, and being able to set goals to reach that purpose and meet that sense of agency and that freedom of choice, that is what makes us human. That cannot be replaced by AI. We are the most precious commodity. This here, our brain capital, is the part that is going to make us wealthy, not necessarily in money, but in time and resources in relationships. I believe that AI can make our life easier in many, many ways. And I'm very grateful for what AI has brought. And I'm not scared of it anymore. I was. A few months ago, I was very scared. But I can tell you now that with the information that I've got, I know that the coaching program that I've developed, the play-based coaching program that's been used around the world in over 45 countries, it's on the right track because the coaches that I support to use my system and my frameworks and my models, all underpinned by research and science, it's on the right track. And I'll tell you why. Because it's all designed to maximize a child's strengths, not create carbon copies of each other, maximize a child's strengths so that they can live to their full potential. Whether a child is born with a neurodevelopmental disorder or with a physical disability, whether a child is fully functioning and has a high IQ, it doesn't matter. Whether a child is born into a home that has an abundance of resources and finances, or a child who is born into a home that may share one mobile phone, doesn't matter. AI is upon us. It is going to be taking jobs, and the way children see the world and the way they work in the world and what they study to become as careers is changing. And we need to make peace with that as the adults in the room. So, what can we do to rebrand childhood and to become comfortable with this new wonderful era that we're facing? Because there's a lot of bonus that is associated with this. But what can we do to make things simpler? Not simpler as in we take the challenge away from children, but in order to support children to navigate this and to stand true to themselves, it's very simple. It boils down to one thing: connection. Connection is the antidote to all of this. Real human in-person connection. So balancing the online time with the offline time, that's where the power sits. Alongside this, getting young people to understand that they have an inner moral compass and that they get to point their compass in the direction that they choose to go, and not to rely on artificial intelligence to point them in a direction, but to learn to ask better questions. AI answers questions, right? And it solves problems. It makes life easier for us. But if we don't ask the right questions, we're not going to get the right answers. And if children do not have a solid sense of self, they're not going to know what the right questions are to ask. And that's why Coaching is so important for young people. In fact, before the age of 12, between 6 and 12, that's the prime time for developing these beautiful young minds, which still have all their neural pathways intact. And we can really prime the mind for well-being well into adulthood. We can break cycles of intergenerational trauma through coaching and mentoring. After the age of 12, it becomes a little bit trickier. We know that the human brain is only fully developed at age 25. I think mine's still developing, by the way, and I'm 52. It's just a swap of numbers there. But that being said, we are all growing and learning. Neuroplasticity says that our brains can learn new things. Now, AI takes the power away from us for many of those new things because answers are at our fingertips. We can gain access to anything and everything to make our life easier. So, struggle is no longer part of the conversation. So, to sum it up, to AI-proof children, they need connection, they need hope, which gives them a sense of purpose and agency, and they need to know how to make good choices. And when choices are made, they're based on particular needs: power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival. For most young people, they make their choices based on belonging. My choices, however, are made on freedom and fun. We need to show children how we behave as role models, that it is possible to rebrand their childhood. It is possible to take the challenges and to reframe them into something beautiful that may actually become the foundation of a future business idea or the career pathway they want to move towards. It's really up to us to stand steadfast as those role models. Don't be scared of AI. I'm actually in the process of publishing a book next year, and this book is going to be speaking about artificial intelligence. But I've come up with a new formula and I'm going to keep it quiet for now. But I will share more about what that formula is and how easy it actually is to harness all of this when somebody understands the neuroscience behind it, just like the coaches do that I've trained globally. I also work with high net worth families. I support corporates. I support healthcare systems, schools, policy advisory committees. I do this not because I'm scared of what AI brings. I do this because I understand that my intellect comes from decades worth of working in the field as a secret parent, being there for children, children who may never ever meet me. That is my purpose. That's what my struggle brought me. And AI is harnessing the opportunity for all of us as adults to actually step into our power, rebrand our childhoods, and create a future for children that looks better than just accepting the lot that technology is rewiring our brains. That's why I'm really pleased that you stayed till the end, because I'm going to ask you to do one thing and one thing only. Look at the children around you that you have contact with, whether it's as a parent, a grandparent, whether it's as a teacher, a social worker, a psychologist, a doctor, a psychiatrist, a life coach, a teller at a store, a banker, whatever you do. Look at the children you come into contact with and look at how you are showing up as an adult. What do you need to do to show those real human qualities to children that can never be replaced by AI? AI will never replace those. Children need to see those in real time, in real life. So, how you show up is important. The choices you make as an adult are important. Does that mean you have to get it right all the time? Oh, heck no. I make so many mistakes, but that is part of being human. Mistakes and challenges are what make us unique in how we show up. So, I want you to go out there and do this one thing. Show up as the best version of you, your authentic self. And that is the little secret ingredient. Authenticity is something that AI, artificial intelligence, can never, ever replace.